Welcome, everybody, to the Bold Inventor Show. I'm JD Hubener, owner and founder here at Bold Patents. I'm accompanied by my trusty co-pilot, Matt Polseth.
Well, hello, JD.
Yeah, hello, good to see you. Trademark attorney extraordinaire. And he was talking about his attire before we went live. He's a volunteer firefighter. He's been hustling, kicking butt out there in the summer. How's the season been this year for you guys?
It's it hasn't been a bad fire season, at least where we live. We've had so much rain this year that it's keeping the wildfires down. But we have had a couple house fires.
Yeah,
but that's pretty normal.
Yeah, right. Well, this show, for those that don't know, we're here live every Wednesday, 1:30 Pacific, and while we are attorneys, we're not offering legal advice here on the show, just legal information. Okay. And one cool thing we do here is we answer your questions. Bring it on, whatever you've got, as long as it's, not malicious or evil, mean. You got an honest question, we'll give you an honest answer, and we'll give you a money back guarantee for your fee for entry here today. So legal notice there, check the disclaimer. If you do have a question as we go through this broadcast and you have something you want to talk with us confidentially about, I'm going to provide this link to you. As always, this is our weekly live link. Check it out, click the link, and book a free discovery call. At our law firm, we help inventors, those that aren't even considering themselves inventors yet. They're just getting started. They've got something that might be a big idea, and that's the right time to start talking with an attorney. And as soon as you get ready to sell, that's when you should be securing and making sure you're on the right footing with respect to your brand and trademark. So 1-2 punch today, Matt Polseth and I will be answering some questions we got throughout the week. And if you have any live questions, you're out there listening across LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, I'll try to monitor the comments, and Matt will help me. We'll take your question. We'll put you to the top of the list here. So, Matt, did I miss anything? How did I do with that?
No, you did great. I'm excited to get into the questions here.
All right. So yeah, we did. We get a bunch. Core has been really good. This one is pharmaceutical companies. This is interesting, right?
Yep.
And I, disclaimer. I've not read through these questions before now, so this is truly live.
Yep.
What is the reason behind pharmaceutical companies investing in research if they're unable to patent their discoveries?
Well, they are.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So, okay, you can secure patent rights on pharmaceuticals. Okay, on a brand new, just whether it's synthetically. That's sort of the key. So it's got to be man-made, if you will. Has to be some ingenuity, some human aspect that we are changing with respect to what the structure is. The catch is you cannot be purely natural, right? You cannot patent something that is part of human nature, part of natural phenomena, DNA strain, right? A discovery of a specific strain. But so long as what you're doing, if the drug has, in any way synthetic properties where it's been manipulated, changed, altered, extra enzymes, more proteins, whatever it is, and I'm not a chemistry background guy, it is patentable. So you bet they do tons of research with respect to all sorts of diseases, helping the medical community. So that is my quick answer to that. Matt, would you add anything to it?
Yeah, no, they, for a for-profit pharmaceutical company is there to make money, right? And so they're doing it because of patent law, right? They would not be incentivized to put the research into these medications and drugs if they didn't have the exclusive right to sell them for the next 20 years.
Yeah, totally. Now, I don't want to get completely derailed and get political here, but I will say, I'll venture to say, we had the Democratic National Convention, we had Bernie Sanders up there last night. Pretty powerful stuff, and there is sort of the policy issue, call it ethical issue, with respect to should we be making money off of helping people get healthy? And that is a conundrum. And right now, absolutely we do.
Yes.
And it's the US of A and it's capitalism. But there is that question, and there's certainly a big chunk of people that honestly don't think that innovations and those types of discoveries should be patentable because it's, hey, we're just helping people out. We're trying to help people restore their health and that type of thing. So anyway, it's there's those issues too.
Sure.
I'll stop there. Okay, let's get one for you, Mr. Matt.
Okay.
I'm going to give you one. Looks like this is out of a Reddit bucket. Okay, wondering as we founded a company and we need to trademark our company's name to avoid copying, but wondering if a trademark is valid worldwide, like copyright, or just in some countries. By the way, I'm from the US, and the company's also based in the US.
Yeah, so US copyrights are only applied to the United States. So you don't necessarily get copyright in foreign countries, at least registration rights in those countries. So, US copyright law, US citizens, US entities here in the United States. It's much the same with trademark registration. You don't have an international trademark, you have a domestic trademark registration, which you can then take abroad, either by filing that trademark in individual countries or using a World Intellectual Property Organization treaty called Madrid Protocol, essentially. Madrid Protocol is basically the way in which we take applications from the United States and bring them around the world. So you do have to apply outside the United States if you want protection outside the United States.
Right. I think there's one more thing in this question that I think you get a lot is, do we have to trademark our company name?
Oh, yeah, great question. So think of your business name, your entity, your legal entity is different than your trademark. Now, they could be the same thing. You could be Bold Patents PLLC, and then, you are doing business as Bold Patents, right? And so your trademark is Bold Patents, but your legal entity is Bold Patents PLLC. But they don't have to be. It could be something entirely different. Bold Patents LLC could be the owner of a trademark for Bold Trademarks, which you are. So, yep. So they don't have to be identical. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not.
Yeah, perfect.
But you would never register Bold Patents LLC as a trademark.
Yeah,
because that's not what the consumer sees. They see Bold Patents.
Exactly. It's the goods or services that you're selling, right?
Yeah, not the company name itself.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got a long question here. Going back to the patent side. Okay, I created a thing. It's a combination of my own creations. I don't want my idea stolen and become locked out. Interesting. I just want to protect what I created. I really wouldn't mind giving it away for free. Should I patent it? I searched quite a bit and haven't found anything close. I know there's a need for it. It's a small demographic that needs it. The G-tube fed kids. I'm not sure what that is. My daughter is one. Maybe YouTube stars. I don't know. Yeah, YouTube fed kids, right? My daughter's one, and so far, this is great. Nothing like it on the market. After I fine tune it, see, I lost the rest. Here we go. Fine tune. I want to test it with other families. I read all about the NDA stuff. Should I get the patent pending? Okay, I think I'm following the question. It's basically I've invented something, but it's really.
He's trying to figure out his order of operations here. It sounds like, right?
Yeah.
When you patent, when you do proof of concept, what's an NDA? Where does that fall into place, right?
Yeah.
Before you go to market.
Thank you. I do think there's something that right up front that I do want to address is that the process of acquiring a patent, right? Going through the labor of searching, applying for it, fighting the examiner, spending tens of thousands of dollars. That is with the intent to make money. That is the 100% goal of securing patent rights. And if that is your goal to make money, great. But if your goal is actually to give it away for free, and it's more of a philanthropic cause, there's a whole different route to go in just publishing it and getting it in the right hands. And by publishing and selling it or getting it out to the world, you have prevented anyone else from securing patent rights on that by your publication. All right. So not everyone knows about that. So if you want to basically own it and be the only one that's ever going to be able to get a patent, you can secure a patent right, but the goal is to make money with patents. Now, if it's been helping a small demographic, that kind of also works against getting a patent. Obviously, I'm a patent attorney. What do I want to do? I want to get you a patent. But if you really have a very small market size and it's quite niche, it almost sounds like a hobby, right? Where almost like a Okay, you're doing good in the world. You want to help somebody out. It's a small segment. You want to make sure that you've done some market research for your product, for what you're going to end up going to market with. And again, if that market size, the demand doesn't warrant the investment, it's not going to be able to make a return on your investment. It may not be the best vehicle for you. And so just simply launching, making sure on the other side, you're not going to be infringing someone else, of course, as you go to market. That may be something worthwhile. As you're making this decision, Matt mentioned NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. Those are contracts between one or more parties. And what you can do is that will be a binding agreement between you two that you're exchanging information and you agree not to share it outside of yourselves. And that's a way that you can, if there's a breach, you can take it to a judge and get enforcement against that for them breaching it, and you'll get a judgment or perhaps an injunction. So hope that helps answer your question. And again, if you have questions, we can book a confidential call and talk more about what you've got.
Love it. That's great.
All right. Let's do a ton more here. I don't want to spend too much time. Yeah. Okay. These folks' questions are deep. This is like, college final type stuff.
Yeah, this is $800 an hour kind of stuff.
I think so. I got a letter from IP Counsel saying that a huge hot poacher brand wants me to abandon my trademark application. I smell spam right away for my logo because of the likelihood of consumer confusion. The letter stated they would like to find an amicable way to resolve this, or the brand intends to file a notice of opposition against my application if they don't comply and respond to their demands by next week. I plan to comply, abandon my application, and redesign my logo. What do I do? So that hot poacher, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah,
So
I'm looking at their
letter
applications right now.
Oh, look at this.
It looks like they are. Who are they? Are they a wine company? Are they? I see like Haute Couture for Walls, which is like interior design services. I see a wine company. Yeah, there's a lot of folks using Haute Couture in different industries. So yeah, I think that would play into it. But I think it would behoove you to spend a little bit of money and meet with a trademark attorney just to make sure that you're abandoning the trademark and that's appropriate in this particular case. I would also recommend that your trademark counsel basically negotiate some sort of agreement whereby in exchange for abandoning the trademark, if in fact you are creating likelihood of confusion or presenting likelihood of confusion, then you're off the hook, right? They can't come after you after the fact for damages. So that's definitely something I would like to see in any agreement with a third party. But yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily need to respond to the cease and desist, or the opposition. If you don't do either, obviously you'll lose the brand, lose the trademark.
Right.
You have to change your brand. But if you don't change the brand, then of course you're going to get a cease and desist, right? And then it's going to be trademark infringement in federal court. So yeah, I think spend a couple $100, talk to an attorney for an hour, figure out the plan, and then execute.
Perfect. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Let's see one more on the patent side here. This one is for an app idea, software application. If there is an app idea, should we buy the rights right away, or should we build the MVP prototype first and then buy the rights? Also, is there any way we can see if the app already has a patent for a similar idea? Good questions. Very, very good. So it sounds like maybe someone's been presented with an app idea by a third party, and they want to be able to take it to market. And so what should we do? These are great questions. I think from a business owner point of view, I think sort of validating, vetting the concept, it might make sense to sign one of those NDAs with this individual and go through that motion of, hey, is this actually going to do what we hope it does? So I like that idea of building a sort of a prototype to confirm that it is exactly what you think it is, and you can get the right, impact in the market. And once you've convinced yourself that, yeah, this is incredible, that's when you'd probably want to hire a patent attorney to do some research to see, okay, has the individual that approached you, have they filed anything? And then has there been anything done on this before in this area? And to where, is there room for you in this, the unique applications, the method and process that they've created, is that patentable? and that could make it even more valuable. You may keep that to yourself. You may not want to share that with the other party. And then you can also look to see, what your scope of rights might be down the road too. So that's a patentability opinion. That's something our firm offers. A lot of firms offer. We'd be happy to work with you on that, and that'll help you kind of appreciate the potential for getting a patent. And then also, if there's any issues on you might be infringing another rights holder that's already on the market that has a patent in this area. So always good to look before you leap, and this is a great time to do that. All right.
Great answer. It's like you've been practicing for, a long time.
Right on. All right, we've been Thomas is patiently waiting backstage. I want to bring on our guest, Thomas Zoehrer. Welcome to our show.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Great to meet you.
Hello, JD.
All right. Well, it's a real treat to have you. And so I'd love to kind of get an introduction, about your company, perhaps. Just let us know what Ssy.ai does, what kind of clients you serve, and then eventually we'll talk about some inventions.
Sure. Happy to do so. Yeah.
Right. Well, let's say, when did you guys get founded? When did it all get started?
Get started, I would say around 2016 or so. Founded 2021. So we are pretty young, fresh, and early in the States. Yeah.
That's good. Good. Well, tell me. To give me what sort of I looked on your website a bit. It looks like you're doing operational improvements. Help me understand, what does that mean? What's an example improvement that you've been working on for some clients?
So I guess first of all, when it is about technology, we are basically transforming standard cameras into highly accurate, sensors. So that's the technology, and we're applying those technology in the material handling industry, MHI.
Okay.
And focusing on operational improvements means also, having people in the focus, and also, work and engage with people, collaborative in the material handling industry.
Cool. Okay, so you've kind of picked a certain industry, material handling. Mm-hmm. What's an example? What's a company in that? Is that
so material handling is basically when you get your package from Amazon, I would guess, right? Somewhere it will be supply chain. Somewhere it will be produced. The next steps or the following steps involve distribution centers.
Okay.
This is a core of the distribution. With those distribution centers, you will get your packages you ordered. One example of many, but this is basically also about supply chain and the deliveries to your home, to your place.
Got it. Yeah. And so it's tracking everything there is, right? All the data involved with getting the package from when they order it to when it gets to the house. Does that kind of summarize it, or is it more specific?
That's that's true. And this is a part of the material handling. We are more focused within the warehouse, within the distribution center, and looking for optimization and enhancing, and involving new technologies. And that includes computer vision, also generative AI and latest technologies.
Very, very cool. And so, it's just interesting. I mean, this is the stuff that nobody knows about. Like, I order something on Amazon, it just shows up, and I wonder, why are there 2 cardboard boxes on this thing, right? Why is there? Why do they group things together? And how do they pick the size of packaging? How many rounds of tape goes around the package? Right. Are we talking about that stuff?
I mean, there's a lot of data. Yeah, I think in our case, when it is about SSY, we are kind of transforming standard cameras, and you see cameras all over the place in many different other industries, right?
Sure.
By the way, we also have projects for nursery homes, where we're using standard cameras, just basically to see more than any other sensor. Okay. And when it is within warehouses, it is a lot about tracking. It is a lot about goods tracking to begin with. It's also about forklift trucks and speeding of forklift trucks, right? Or navigating forklift trucks, this kind of stuff. But also operators, right? Those are also moving objects within a space, right? This is what we are focusing on.
It's cool. Very, very
Gotcha.
Cool.
Hey, Thomas, can I ask a question generally about AI?
Sure.
Do you see the future of AI? I mean,
Alternatives will not have a job anymore.
Oh, great. Perfect. Actually, there's been a couple AI companies come out in my space, trademark registration work, and it's pretty amazing, to be totally honest.
Yes.
But do you see like the future of AI basically being like, I would have my own personal AI assistant, and I would also like license your software for the AI to use, right?
So yeah. There's many answers, Matt, to this question. I think, specifically now you mentioned it, right? Everything, there's a lot of talk about generative AI, more specifically, large language models. Language includes, language and words, right? And attorney, but also accounting, etc. There's numbers and words, which is logical for AI, right? So those areas, I mean, for me, also law is logical words, right? At the end of the day, right? So that's coming, and I think you tipped also on a very interesting upcoming new application for AI, and this is personal AI. So I think we're probably not too far away, where everybody has a kind of a representative, for them, him, herself, on the personal. The personal
So, Thomas,
there's already, artificial intelligence created avatars, right? That's just an image beginning with that kind of stuff, right?
Just an extension. Now, do you sell your software into companies as like software as a service? Is it a standalone operating system that people are using, or an application? Tell us a little bit of how you're, I guess, making money, or you will be making money with the products and services.
So I think we are probably a little bit different than many other startups, right? Because as I mentioned, there's millions and millions cameras in this world, right? Believe it or not, 50% are in China, right? And those cameras, we are basically using AI, kind of to make more out of those cameras, right? So we have, to answer your question, we have projects in nursery homes, right? People are asking us, to identify if a person is falling on the floor, right? Further involves into health, observation over time, right? There's airports with cameras. We have projects on airports, etc., right? And getting back to your question, we are doing SaaS, we are doing, on subscription, but we also, at the end of the day, we are AI development company, and we are developing specific solution. And out of those specific solutions, they're dropping off some products which we can subscribe.
Very cool. I love it. I think it's very interesting.
I love it too.
In niche, right? I mean, you're focused on AI as it applies to data from cameras, right? And integrating data.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
It's very, very interesting, and I can see how there'd be a lot of use cases for that.
Too many.
Yeah, too many. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk about your application, your patent application that's pending. It's a PCT.
Yes, sir.
When I took a look at it, so you filed. It's an international. So you've got the ability to file into many countries. Maybe I could pull it up. I don't want to get too lost in the details, but I'd love to kind of show it off. Maybe you could walk us through, parts of it that sort of would help us understand a bit more about what makes it novel.
Maybe I can. I made a beautiful painting, GD, if that's okay for you. So because it's quite a complex technology. I'm the CEO of the company, but I also have a good partner in crime, right? Oliver, he's a Berkeley PhD. He's a math guy, and he basically, this is a little bit of history also. He approached me before 2021, and he said, "Hey, what can we do in the material handling industry and supply chains, right?" And he showed me, technology to bounce a ball on a ping pong. And I said, "Oliver, this is great, but we don't play ping pong in warehouses, right?" But there was also another very interesting link he sent in the same email. The same email, by the way, is still in my inbox, and it will stay there forever, I guess. And this was about, using, basically the application was, to use cameras to count people in a mall, right? And they put a frame around the person, right? And this is person number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And I said, this is fantastic if you know where those people are, where these objects are in the real world, in the space, right? And this is my beautiful painting, actually. So this is 2 dimensions, as you probably know, right? This is 2-dimensional, the same as the camera looks like.
Sure.
If you don't see that this is a person, this is a tree, right? This is also a person, right? But what the human brain can do is it can identify this is not a dwarf and this is not a small tree. It's just in the third dimension in the back, right? The human brain is able to interpret a two-dimensional picture in the third dimension, right? And can, speak to things like distance or speed, etc., right? And AI was not able to do so, and this is our patent, right? Without even seeing all this complicated stuff you showed before, I think this is an easy way to explain our patent, right? We are basically mimicking human brains to identify the third dimension in the real world. And as you can imagine, as Matt mentioned before, there's tons of applications. If you know how fast this person is, where this person is, where this forklift truck is, etc., that opens it's just that opens the door, to another dimension of data harvesting, of data acquisition.
Yeah. Wow. That is mind blowing. I mean, you could even get down to tracking how fast your pupils are moving, right, to see if you're anxious. Or
exactly. Yeah.
Like eyebrows. If little.
Yeah. There's already stuff. There's also skeleton. Interpretation. It speaks to health, right? You should probably take a break because you're bending too often, right? I think another fascinating part on this technology and also computer vision, generally speaking, is the hardware is also involving, and one picture frame of a 4K camera has 8.6 million pixels, right? A human brain or human eye cannot even see that anymore. AI could see, much further in the pixel frame, right? And then you have 60 frames per second. The amount of data harvested is just incredible.
Wow. Very cool. Awesome. All right. And so you filed, not everyone knows that you can submit what's called a patent cooperation treaty. That is what's called a placeholder, really. And so once the examiner that represents the international search is done, I'm not sure if it is done or not. Have you decided to file in a certain number of countries?
So we already filed for Germany and the US.
Okay.
This is where we're starting. We already have ideas, for other patents based on this foreground patent, and we will find this and maybe a recommendation of lawyers in different countries. So that's the idea.
Got it. Cool. Talk briefly about, if this is if you don't mind, so patents, how does that relate to your business plan in terms of making money? Do you plan to use that as a licensing or more just pure enforcement against any infringers? Yeah,
it's interesting. Also close to Matt's question, I think we are still we are pioneers. We are developing new technologies, right, based on our foreground technology, and we are still we are not funded. We are bootstrapped. There was the time in the economy, pandemic and so on. I'm glad now about this situation. Just for the note. And we are still, people coming to us, like the nursery home, people coming to us, hey, we have RFID chips, we have LiDAR, we have this and that, but we cannot see if a person is lying on the ground, right? Can your technology do this? Yes, sir, we can do this. So we are developing such technologies, and then we can apply this the same in warehouses, right? Or on airports, or wherever you want, right? So we are still, to answer your question, we are still of kind of project mode, right? But we are now having a large project ahead of us where we are first time talking about integrating and having the software on site and taking, getting in that direction, and that also includes subscription. Yeah.
Got it. Well, I love asking about the future, with respect to that. Do you envision, let's go 10 years down the road, do you think SSY is going to be its own growth trajectory, or do you love a one larger company that's currently in the market and you see yourself exiting, and being basically absorbed into a aligned company in the same industry?
It cost me so much pain to arrive to here, that I certainly will not sell next week. I think it's very interesting for us since the technology is applicable for anywhere for any application. And I literally, I mean, it's a bumpy road, and if you read about startups, it's pain, pain, right?
Yep.
And I literally, but sooner or later, I mean, you're in love already, right? And I think for me, it's now I wouldn't let it go. It's fun, and it can evolve in so many directions. It's your baby, right?
Yeah.
And it's fun to continue. There's no exit plans yet, and just living the dream, I guess, is what you would say in the US. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I also caught that you do have a partner. So you've got is it a co-owner or a
Are you talking about business or my Miley, which I love so much?
Business,
My
of course.
partner. Yeah, my partner. So yeah, Oliver. So what was the question? Sorry, I got.
Oh, do you have a co-founder? Is someone
Yeah.
else at your company?
Mhm.
How many owners are there?
It's just the both of us,
Okay, very good.
It's like in a husband-wife relationship. We are talking quickly and have things sorted out very very fast, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that is a bit of advice. Did you start out doing it together, or did you find each other along the way?
Yeah, so this email I referred before, and Oliver was, for the smart guys in Silicon Valley, they were always thinking, the material handling industry, the supply chain, that's the future, right? Sooner or later we will sit home, eating potato chips all day long and not leaving our home, and all these goods will be supplied to us, right? So there is a supply chain, there's a lot of demand, and many companies, want to be involved in that. And it was an accident because I was already thrown away that email, kind of, mentally. But it was an accident, right? And we are partners. Oliver is also our parent company. There's much more. There's plenty of AI engineers. There's resources, and I feel we are just at the beginning of our story, right? And we talked before about language, and numbers, but I think the next frontier, the next thing in AI are images, and seeing. And I feel SSY will probably the eyes of AI.
Very cool. All right. Last but not least, question I always ask for people out there that are watching live or after the fact: what advice would you offer to someone who's getting started, loves AI maybe as much as you do, maybe not the same industry or field specifically? What advice do you give them as they want to try to move forward with the technology?
I think first thing is if you're multiple serial entrepreneur, or if this is your first time. For me, it's the first time. I like to compare it with ultra running and doing ultra running, right? And this is a pain cave all the way, but the success is good. I think for anybody who's getting into startups and raising a company, it's a painful way, right? Prepare yourself, right? This is what we're doing in ultra running, right? There will be pain. There's plenty of pain, right? Just prepare, right? But believe in your dreams. Believe in your dreams. Believe in what you're thinking will happen, right? I think this starts with the founders. This starts with the CEO, CTO, and eventually will involve, in a company, right? But it's not fun, and but there's fun as well. But just stick to the plan, right? And believe in yourself and your ideas. Yeah.
Love it. Are you comfortable if I share your email address if anybody were to reach out to you for?
Yes, please. Yeah.
You're open to that?
To chat, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right, Matt, any questions to wrap up with?
Yeah. Hey, just real quick here, Thomas. I know we got one more thing to do here before we go, but question for you. Do you find that most people who are developing AI right now are building on a prior AI platform, that they're basically teaching or enhancing, or are you building something, maybe not you personally, but are people building basically from whole cloth when it comes to AI?
No, I think, the AI, this is a huge, umbrella term, right? There's already advanced technologies. There's starting with machine learning, this and that, right? And now we're in generative AI, and there is already, what's interesting in the software in the AI industry, there's a lot of open source code out there.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all these open source, things you can get, that really what makes us and many other companies is the sauce, the magic sauce in between the codes, right? And kind of connecting those technologies and ideas. I'm luckily, with Oliver, he is the mathematical brain, and helped really on this magic sauce in between. Okay.
Got it.
I have one more question. So, I mean, one thing you haven't talked about is the hardware, the cameras themselves.
Yes.
Do you work with hardware inventors, manufacturers? How does that work?
No, we that's the good thing. We are independent. I think that with one exception, I was just on one side myself, because the hardware is already there, right? Maybe we need more hardware to see more, right?
Sure.
But we are literally, this is also a beautiful logo. We are the green one, the brain, right? The hardware is already there. We are just using advanced technology to see much more deeper in the picture space. Right?
Got it.
It's like the deep space outside. We're looking inside, if you wish.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. All right, again, thank you for coming on, Thomas, being a guest on our show.
Thank you.
I'd love for you to hang out backstage. If you have time, hang out. We're going to do a critique of an AI company that pitched to the Shark Tank Australia. So, but again, thank you again for being on. All right, Matt.
He was great.
So good. So good. Yeah, I'm like, a lot of that's over here, or like up here.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I feel like just an infant asking questions about AI.
oh, thank you for asking this question. I think a lot of people were wondering, as were I. I was like,
Where do you even start, right? Where do you start with, I have an idea for AI. Where do you even start, right? I guess you start with open source software.
Yeah. All right. I've got a pitch here. Shark Tank Australia.
Let's do this.
It's called AI Toolkit. And the name of the YouTube video is The Worst Pitch in the
Perfect.
tank. So
Sign me up, right up my alley.
yeah. So whoever did somebody doesn't like it. Let's go over here. Right. All right. Can you see the window there?
Yep, sure can.
Okay. All right. Let's launch.
We've come up with a product that's going to change the way teachers do business, saving countless hours. And it's going to really change the way kids learn. Hello, Sharks. My name is James King, co-founder of AI Toolkit Proprietary Limited. The product I'll be presenting today will be an AI-powered set of tools for teaching and learning. I'm asking for an investment of $250,000 in return for a 10% share in the company. Wow. Having no plan is definitely planning to fail. This is never truer than in teaching. Teachers, we have to prepare up to 8 lessons a day across a range of subjects, and the curriculum is always shifting. Let me show you something amazing. I'm going to prepare a lesson plan in 15 seconds, which gets sent straight to my email. You ready for this? Yeah.
So what are you doing? Can you just walk us through, James?
I can't read that.
What are you selecting there?
It's 15 seconds, guys. You got to be kidding.
I can't talk.
Talking clear.
Wow, boom.
That 15 seconds, I think less.
We'll take your word for it.
What it's doing behind the scenes is building a lesson plan with learning intentions, success criteria, differentiation strategies, Indigenous perspectives. And let me demonstrate. And our first question goes to our exchange student from the US. Robert, that's you.
Canada, but okay.
Okay. Canada. What does the term investment mean?
An investment is any type of vehicle where you put in a certain amount of money in order to get a return.
Instantly, AI Toolkit gives you feedback. It captures the entire thread of your interactions and sends them to the teacher as evidence of inquiry-based learning. Katrina, your student profile says you've dabbled a little bit in AI, so you might be able to help us with this next question. Is AI Toolkit a good investment?
I guess we'll find out.
AI Toolkit has only existed for 41 days.
41 days.
That's it.
2.5 mil, okay.
Guys, I've really enjoyed presenting today. I'm just keen to answer any of your questions.
James, thank you so much. I think this is a great field that you're entering and one that I've played in myself. So who have you joined forces with to build the AI?
Well, Jeff Ayling is my business partner, and there's only two of us. There's no team of engineers. We haven't slept for a while. We're 50-50 in the business. He's tech with a background in marketing. I'm education with a background in tech.
Where is Jeff?
Why didn't
What's
you
his
join?
involvement in
Jeff, someone's got to drive the Ferrari while I'm up here doing my thing.
Nice.
So
Okay.
there's only two of us. So he's, the guy.
Okay, so just a little tip. You're a tech business and you're doing a tech presentation. Absolutely have your CTO there, your chief technology officer there every time.
especially if he's a 50-50 partner, because I might not like Jeff. Like, I don't know Jeff, but yeah, it's pretty important.
Okay.
Do you have any customers?
Not yet.
All right. I think I get the gist of
Yeah,
what
where's Jeff? Jeff must be a troll.
Okay, well, we didn't get very technical, did we? But I think it's a good point for entrepreneurs that are presenting, want to share their idea. Perhaps too much was assumed, and just the wrong approach. Perhaps I think some really good advice from the Sharks to bring your team. We heard from Thomas, our guest earlier. He's got a co-founder. I imagine they'd want to both be present if they were going to be pitching in that way to field any questions, right, related to their business. So. It looked like there's some fancy stuff going on with creating lesson plans. I think that's kind of a good market. Good market, right? A lot of stuff there. Let's start with the branding AI toolkit. And obviously this is out of the U.S., but if in the U.S., where does that sit with you in your?
Yeah, let's take a look at that quick. AI toolkit to me seems pretty descriptive, right?
Yeah.
Meaning that it's artificial intelligence toolkit. It's some sort of tools to assist with AI development or creation, right? And indeed, in the United States, if you are in class 9, the software class, essentially, where AI would be, you have to disclaim AI toolkits. You are not allowed to register this brand in the United States at this point.
Got it. Wow.
So more branding. Yep. Yeah, I think on the patent side, and we talked a bit about that with Thomas, and I was going to show off his patent. With software, it is a series of steps, and so if what they have put together is a unique method for exchanging, analyzing data, moving things around, and the output, can be tangibly seen, whether it's on an electronic device or a physical manifestation, it's eligible. And it's a matter of, how different is it? How much benefit, right, values are bringing to the market is going to help you make a decision on whether you want to seek a patent protection for something like that. With a software like that, where you're not selling or not licensing the software, a lot of times it makes sense to keep that as trade secret, where you're going to be keeping a lot of the, the how, maybe the code itself, certainly, the process, how you're going about selecting, what type of lessons or how many to have, how you're marketing it. That's all trade secret information. So while some of that may be patentable, you're still deciding whether the market's ripe and whether it's got enough value to make it worthy of investing in seeking a patent portfolio. Yeah. Last thing I would say is, the name itself, we already said it's not registrable in the United States, it's descriptive. It's also just not very suggestive of what this product does or who it benefits, right? You tell me your AI toolkit and I'd say, great, what do you do, right?
We're still asking what you do. Yeah.
Still asking what you do. So
and exactly, and that's what you're trying to get, right? You want to be suggestive. You want the name itself, the mark to be suggestive of what you do.
Yeah, something to do with artificial intelligence and or education or lesson plans, right? So get creative and start, rubbing sticks together till something catches fire.
Yep. Cool. Very, very good. All right, my friend, I think that is it for today. We didn't get any questions, but hey, if anybody missed it and you're watching after the fact, we're here every week, Wednesday at 1:30. If you want to hop on and chat with us, we'll put you to the top of the list, get your questions answered. And for Matt and I and Bold Patents, we're out. Wishing you a great week and a good day. Go big, go bold. Bye-bye.
Thanks.